Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. In today's top stories, we join Tzu Chi volunteers in Jordan as they carry out a distribution and free dental clinic for the needy. We hear from the mother of a suicide victim how her life was influenced by her son's death and how she found the strength to go on. And in our feature report on Taiwan's fading trades, we meet an artisan in Taichung, Xie Shu Hui, to learn about tissue paper paintings. We kick off today's show in Jordan as Tzu Chi volunteers are providing continuous love and care for the residents of Al Qisma in Oman City. Every 2 months, Tzu Chi volunteers distribute rice and sugar to the needy families. Meanwhile, volunteers also held a free dental clinic in collaboration with the Hassan Foundation. During the free clinic, volunteers not only provided dental treatment, but also passed on information on dental hygiene.
Recently, the Tzu Chi Jordan chapter and Hassan Foundation held a joint free dental clinic at a local school. Since there were not enough dental assistants, volunteers had to be ready to help. Afraid of seeing a dentist, this child is not willing to open his mouth. The volunteers and doctor tried to persuade him by giving him toys and telling him the importance of seeing a dentist. Through a paper puppet show, volunteers educate children on how to brush their teeth. At the end of the performance, volunteers also give them free toothbrushes and toothpaste. Every 2 months, Tzu Chi volunteers distribute rice and sugar to residents of Al Qisma in Amman City. This time, 8 recipients also join in to help carry the relief materials. This time, the distribution helped a total of 50 households, members of which waited patiently in line for their turn. Many Taiwanese businessmen also took the opportunity to volunteer.
I had never attended any Tzu Chi events before. I am really touched.
There is a volunteer who used to complain about everything, but started to change after taking part in distribution activities.
Overcoming differences of race and faith, Tzu Chi volunteers promise to continue their love and care for the residents of Jordan.
Also reaching a helping hand to those in need are the Philippines Tzu Chi volunteers who recently held a rice distribution at Barangay General Tabocio de Leon in Valenzuela City, helping a total of 975 households. To reciprocate Tzu Chi's love, many aid recipients came together to collect recyclables to donate to the Buddhist NGO. And on the day of the relief distribution, residents arrived with 129 kilos of recyclables.
Among 975 households waiting in line for their turn to receive rice from Tzu Chi is Jenny Palito. The 20 kilograms of rice from Tzu Chi will help feed his family of 5 for a week.
I really wish I had my own business, even just a small one, because it is hard being a father and mother at the same time. I don't earn enough money to support my family.
Jenny Palito, who separated from his wife 2 years ago, has to support his 5 children all by himself. The money he earns as a construction worker is not enough to support his family, but he says he is happy as long as they are together. Margie Afabito, who is a mother of 4, is also here to receive rice from Tzu Chi.
Now, with the rice from Tzu Chi, we finally have enough to eat. The budget for rice can be used to purchase stationery for my children.
To reciprocate Tzu Chi's love, rice recipient Margie Afabito promises to save money in her coin bank and donate it to Tzu Chi.
Through this rice distribution, the volunteers taught me the concept of sharing. I will start saving money and donating it to Tzu Chi.
Donating money to the coin bank is a way to give something back to society. Many also donated their recyclables to Tzu Chi as part of their share to help those in greater need.
In our next report, Tainan Tzu Chi senior high school students and teachers, while on a trip to Malaysia, joined the local Tzu Chi volunteers as they visit the indigenous tribe of Krok in North Perak. The students not only seized the opportunity to take part in the relief distribution, but also through group activities, were able to quickly become friends with the children of the tribe.
Students and teachers from Tzu Chi Senior High School in Tainan, Taiwan, journeyed through 6 kilometers of rugged mountain roads to reach the indigenous tribe of Krok in Perak, Malaysia. The students are here to participate in the 165th distribution activity, personally distributing aid and grasping how truly blessed they all are.
I hope they realize from this process that they are very fortunate and know that they are truly blessed.
Love has no boundaries. Walking hand in hand, the students quickly become buddies with the children of the tribe. Tzu Chi volunteers use this opportunity to teach the children about keeping their environment clean and the proper way to wash their hands. Tzu Chi students and children interact well, despite the language barriers. During group activities, the children are having a good time. The smiles on their faces infect the hearts of these young volunteers.
During group activities, the children might not know the sign language, but they still followed along with us, so that's great. The children are very cute.
Happiness stems not from how much you own, but from how little you complain. These happy memories with indigenous children are these students' greatest reward.
Staying in Malaysia, this year, Tzu Chi Malacca chapter are launching the Tzu Chi Scholarship Program for the first time. Volunteers, along with the principal and teachers of the Ladang Sungai Baru Tamil Elementary School, visit the homes of their students in order to understand the children's living environment.
With tears in her eyes, the mother of a Ladang Sungai Baru Tamil Elementary School student talks about the tough living environment. After her husband died from a heart disease, the widow has to rely on welfare support for a living.
When we visit students' homes, we are able to understand them better.
This year, as Tzu Chi Scholarship Program is launched for the first time in Malacca, volunteers are taking teachers of the Tamil school to visit their students' homes in order to understand their living conditions and family backgrounds. Normally, we only see the students at school, but these youngsters might face a different situation at home. Hopefully, through home visitations, both the teachers and the principal are able to get to know their students better. In order to get to know the children better, it is important to visit them at home. Manda, a student who performs well at school, is also a very independent and creative child and cultivates his own little garden by using self-made tools. The door-to-door visits help teachers understand their students and also bring the relationship between them one step closer. I can learn from him. He's still so young, but he's so independent, and he can even cook for himself.
I'm very happy to be able to visit the children at home and see a different side of them. I'm very thankful to Tzu Chi.
All the volunteers are very happy since we were able to give the teachers this opportunity.
Today we continue on our series of feature reports on taking the sadness away. Suicide is the 9th leading cause of death in Taiwan, yet the tragedy extends beyond a single person's death. By conservative estimate, 6 to 10 others will experience emotional trauma as a result of a loved one's suicide, and memories will continue to haunt survivors for some 15 to 20 years after the tragic event has taken place. Currently, 450,000 Taiwanese live in the shadow of death by suicide, and their psychological health are imperiled by what they have experienced. Next, we hear the story of a bereaved mother and how she found the strength to go on living after her son ended his own life.
I haven't looked at my son's possessions for a long time. To tell the truth, I really don't want to handle them.
Mrs. Ke Tai Li-den talks frankly of her son's suicide 6 years earlier, which many family members of a suicide victim don't normally wish to recall.
Even today, I still don't understand why he chose to take his own life, why he chose the path he did. If my son had died of an illness, or if he had contracted some terrible disease, I could accept his death. But he left us for no apparent reason. I can't understand it.
Suicide survivors bear much greater stress and anguish than those who have lost loved ones to accidents or illness. Because of this, many suicide survivors would rather keep their grief and pain to themselves.
When I'm sad, I don't want to cry in front of my family. Instead, at night I walk around the neighborhood and then start crying. After I've cried, I'd go home. My husband is grief-stricken too, but we don't talk to each other about our son's death.
Unable to express emotions, unable to discuss a loved one's suicide, many survivors chose to face their sorrow in silence and question the unknown world of death.
I'm afraid that our not being able to let go may prevent him from being reborn. As a mother, I want to keep him, but at the same time, I have to let him go so that he can continue his journey in another life.
Faced with the suicide of a loved one, Mrs. Kerr and many other survivors have doubts about the cycle of death and rebirth and seek solace and peace of mind in religion.
I try to do a good deed every day. Every morning, I ask for the Bodhisattva's blessings and express my gratitude by putting a donation in the coin bank. I ask the Bodhisattva to forgive my son and remove any bad karma he may have created for himself. I keep my son's photo with my volunteer ID. When I go out to do volunteer work, I always carry it with me.
Mrs. Ke confides in other volunteers who have also lost their children, because only those who have known such loss can truly feel the deep pain.
Sometimes I'll give her a warm hug to ease her sorrow. We feel each other's pain. My oldest son died of illness. Although it happened 23 years ago, I still cry when I think about it. He's always with me. He'll always be a part of me.
Many ask Mrs. Ke if she has gotten over her son's death. She says that losing a child is a wound that will never completely heal. But now she has the courage to face her sorrow, and she has found a way to go on living with gratitude and blessings. Back to Malaysia on July 1st, Sigi Melaka chapter conducted health checks for the Durian Tunggal community in the local Xinhua Elementary School, who offered their school grounds as the clinic site. Due to religious differences, the concept of donating one's organ after death is not as common in Malaysia. However, Sigi volunteers still seized the opportunity to promote organ donation. In the 3-hour activity, 200 checks-up were completed, while 28 people signed the organ donor cards, including a parent and child pair.
Here at the health check held at Xinhua Elementary in Malaysia, many participants are getting their blood pressure measured for the very first time. Mr. Wu came for his checkup right after his morning run. Despite suffering from a blurry vision, he's afraid of going to the hospital because of the expensive cost.
I say don't be afraid, just arrange it. If you don't, it will be difficult.
We always feel happier when people care about us. It's nice to have people who care.
With both Western and Chinese doctors on site to provide free checkups, the school is offering that facility for free, and the volunteers are bringing refreshments.
We're providing free health examinations to the local residents, so why should we charge any fees?
The organ donation booth is surrounded by caring people. This father and his son are signing up together.
I feel that I can help people.
It would be better if the whole family can come, because other people can continue living with our organs.
This little volunteer is still young, but she wishes to have an organ donor card one day, just like her mother.
I will be willing to donate my organs when I turn 18.
I am happy to become an organ donor. Now I am an organ donor. My wish is fulfilled.
In 3 hours, 200 people completed their checkups, and 28 have signed their organ donor cards. They believe that love is undying, and they are grateful to be able to give back.
Great love transcends all ethics and religious boundaries. In our next report, we go to Indonesia, where the majority of the local residents are of Islamic backgrounds. On June 16th, Muhammadiyah, an Islamic organization, held a seminar in which a Tzu Chi volunteer was asked to introduce the Buddhist NGO's history and humanistic values.
At the Yuhamka campus in Jakarta, Indonesia, Islamic organization Muhammadiyah holds a seminar in which religious boundaries are crossed. Tzu Chi volunteers have been asked to share with attendees Tzu Chi's history and humanitarian efforts.
We hope to learn from Tzu Chi about how to reach people, because if we don't have members, then we can't achieve anything. We want to inspire our people to care for those less fortunate than us.
Muhammadiyah knew of Tzu Chi's humanistic values through Indonesia's DaAi station. Both groups help those in need to move towards a more stable life.
We are all non-profit organizations. Tzu Chi has many events in its 4 major missions: charity, medicine, education, and humanitarianism. So there are plenty of opportunities to work together.
Today, with 29 million members, Muhammadiyah is the second largest Muslim organization in Indonesia. They have a significant social impact and hope to spread the seeds of love along with Tzu Chi.
Since Taiwan invented paper right up until today, handmade paper is still widely used among artists around the globe. In our feature report on Taiwan Sunset Industries, we go to Taichung to meet a tissue paper artist, Xie Su-hui, who started learning her art when she was only 25 years old. We find out what inspired Xie to continue to pursue her dreams despite meeting several setbacks on her life path. Using a brush dipped with water and drawing the shape of a fish before tearing it off.
What I would do now is to paste this fish onto the paper. Fish in water are free and unconstrained, so I have to make it flexible and capable of mobility.
Next, Xie Su-hui is adding decorations.
It would be quite difficult to present the color and texture of a fish with just a piece of plain yellow paper, so on the top I will use other yellow colored papers to decorate the painting.
Giving her painting different color layers and adding leaves to complete her artwork, Xie Su-hui, who studied industrial design and used to work in a packaging firm, began searching for tissue papers after an encounter with a Japanese client and found them in Puli Township, Nantou County.
We have such great paper products in Taiwan, and they have always been exported to Japan and other countries. But our people, even residents of Puli, have no idea that right next to them, there's a factory that produces beautiful papers like these.
At 25 years of age, Xie Su-hui began learning the art of tissue paper painting.
We're not afraid of tearing these papers. As long as you have the skills, these papers are in your hands and under your control. Just as when we drive, we control the direction with the steering wheel.
Knowing how flexible these decorative cardboard papers are, Xie puts her creativity to the test.
You can pull the tissue paper and pull with a little bit of strength so that there are lines on the paper, or you can crunch the paper with your hands to give it different lines.
The paper can even be rolled into a vein and be folded to present a three-dimensional effect. Through different types of tissue papers with different colors and thickness, Xie Su-hui is able to produce beautiful artworks.
I wanted the children in Taiwan to get to know the wisdom of our ancestors and to know that our island produces these decorative papers. It turned out, though, that he only wanted to buy one painting but photocopied all my artworks. I felt that I had put in so much effort, made all these materials, and it couldn't be recycled. It was as if I was just designing for someone.
Though dejected after being robbed of her work in this way, the artist was inspired to cherish her life and continue to realize her dreams after the 9/11 earthquake.
At that moment when the earthquake is happening, only then do you feel the power of nature, and that's something we cannot predict beforehand.
Knowing the impermanence of life, Xie Su-hui decided to seize every moment of her life to share her knowledge with others.
I will put the bigger orange in front and the smaller one at the back.
Today, the artistic woman is teaching local residents and those interested in art how to make beautiful tissue paper paintings.
When you tear the paper apart, you will hear the beautiful and soft swishing sound. It has been thousands of years since Taiwan invented paper, and we have kept this tradition until now. I hope that it doesn't shortly disappear, but that it takes its root in our culture.
Nearly 50 years of age, Xie Su-hui says her eyesight is no longer as good as in the old days.
I really enjoy making white herons. They have really thin and tiny necks, so it is actually quite difficult to paste them onto the paper. The mouth and legs are hard to make too. Sometimes I wonder how many more of them I will be able to make.
Nevertheless, she vows to stay true to her dreams for the many years ahead. At the end of today's program, we go to New Zealand and join Auckland Sichings, who are using the first week of their summer holidays to plant trees at a local park in Glenfield. The tree planting activity first started 7 years ago, and these youth volunteers are determined to continue to give what they can to safeguard our planet. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.